Hey guys, this is FALCONER Fitness. Welcome to my channel. Hello everyone, this is FALCONER Fitness. We're doing our second edition today in a tutorial series. We'll be going over back. We'll choose 4 movements. We'll go over the finer points. We'll do a bit of lats and we'll do a little bit of upper back training for the day. Latissimus dorsi. So we're gonna go over the lat muscle under the armpit. We'll be doing rear delts, rhomboids, traps, upper back muscles. All right guys, we're gonna start with a straight arm pull down. This is the one back exercise that doesn't use your biceps as a secondary muscle. It's also a great exercise to use at the beginning, trying to kind of activate the lats. You're never going to be super strong here. It's more of an isolation finesse move. Really just trying to pump some blood in the muscle. It's a great way to start, just to get a good mind to muscle connection. Okay, so our start position is going to be thumbs on the same side as fingers. I'm going to grip this a little bit closer to my wrist. It's a little awkward if it's in your fingers. So I'm gripping this closer to my wrist. I don't even really need to use my fingers. Okay, I'm going to pull out about 3 feet of cable. My start position is going to be here, head and chest down, my weight's on my toes. I'm going to gradually transfer my weight to my heels and lift my chest a bit. Lean forward for a stretch. My weight on my toes. If I let go of this, I'm going to fall forward. And I'm going to pick up my chest for a contraction. Lean forward. Lean forward for a stretch. Back to my legs for the contraction. Fall forward onto my toes. Transfer my weight to my heels. I'm also working on orange juice in the armpit here. So I have some tension in my armpit. So the key to this exercise, guys, is as we're moving our arms to our legs, I want to focus on tension in the armpit. If there's an orange in the armpit, I'm squeezing to get juice out. I'm going to hold on to that tension as I'm doing my move. That way I'm going to have a much better connection with the latissimus dorsi, the lat muscle underneath my armpit. It's also how we activate chest muscles as well, but today we're going over the lats. Stretch, pull back for a contraction. Lean forward, big stretch, pull back. Straight arm pull down. Today we're just really working on form. Just to start for today, we'll do 4 sets of 15 at a pretty moderate weight. We're getting to failure towards the end. Okay, guys. Our next exercise in our series here for back today is going to be a close grip lat pull down. This is a handle very similar to this. This is kind of the old school version of this same handle that we're using here today. I prefer the newer version. But by all means, if that's all you have, it's basically the same thing. It puts our elbows tight to torso as we come down. There's many ways to train lats, but a good thing to focus on is keeping your elbows tight to torso, either horizontal or vertical. If my elbows are tight to torso, I'm hitting my lats for the most part. If I'm flaring my elbows vertical or horizontal, I'm getting more upper back, shoulder blade muscles, rhomboids, traps, all of these rear delts, these muscles on my shoulder blades. This exercise, we're going to be doing lats, so we're keeping our elbows tight to our torso. This handle puts us in the right position. We don't even have to think about it a lot. The only thing we really need to think about is leaning back with an arch. For example, if I stay upright like this without an arch and I pull straight down, I get almost exclusively biceps. And that's not really what we're after. So the key here is I want to lean back with a little upper back arch, and I'm going to pull on a slant. Now I'm hitting my lats. Okay? I'm going to keep my head back. I'm going to go for a full stretch. I'm going to go right underneath my pectoral muscles. Keeping my elbows tight to my torso. Full stretch, maintaining this lean back arch position. Now I'm hitting my lats. So to reiterate, if I stay upright, I'm going to be getting exclusively biceps. And that's not so good because we could pick a better movement to train biceps. We want to train lats. I want to lean back and arch and pull in a bit of a slant here. Good? Nice and low down, right beneath my pectorals. Close grip pull down. Pretty straightforward. Our third exercise in our series today for back is going to be a one-arm dumbbell row. We're still focusing on the lat muscle. I think we'll do some upper back next. So this is our movement here with the dumbbell. Some people do this on a flat bench. I really prefer this position. It puts me into a tripod where I have 3 points of contact. Foot on the ground, knee up, hand here. So I feel very strong in this position. But by all means, if you just want to find something and post up here, that's perfectly acceptable. I feel a little stronger using a bench to give me some stability. Okay, so I'm going to put this knee up. And I have this knee foot on the ground, but out of the way. So I'm not hitting it with my elbow as I'm rowing. I always want this leg on the ground as I'm rowing on this side so I don't feel like I'm tipping over. If I had that switched, this foot is up and I row on this side, I'm going to feel like I'm tipping. So if you feel that, then you probably have the wrong leg up. Okay, so I'm rowing with the same arm as that leg that's on the ground. I'm going to spread out here so I'm not too cramped. I don't want to look like a cat. I want a nice flat back, even a little arch in my lower back. So in a perfect world, I'm going to kind of keep my chest up and my butt out with a little arch in my lower back. We're gonna move this like a pendulum on a slant. I don't wanna just let out my elbow and my shoulder. I wanna really reach for the ground. So I wanna get a deep stretch. Reach, reach, reach for the ground, elbow to the hip. Reach, 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 elbow to the hip. I'm moving in a slant or a pendulum here. Either one is fine. Slant, pendulum. Let out your elbow, let out your shoulder, really reach. Boom. Next, there's no space in my armpit. I want to rug burn the armpit of my t-shirt. That's how close my elbow is. Moving on a slant. The only way I can hit my lat muscle is on this slant. If I go straight up and down, my elbow kicks out, I start to hit different parts of my back. The key to this exercise is elbow tight to torso, moving on a slant, hitting that lat muscle again. I would recommend holding that orange in the armpit, tension in the armpit, concentrate on that as I'm going through the movement. And then you'll feel it so much more. Okay, one arm row, guys. Tutorial today for back is going to be a row, but we're going to flare our elbows and we're going to be going for upper back here. Okay, so our focus is on upper back. We're taking it off the lats. Now we're training upper back shoulder blade muscles, rear delts, rhomboids, mid traps, everything up here on our shoulder blades. Okay, so with that in mind, we're going to want to flare our elbows. This is my start position. I have a nice rigid spine at 90 degrees. I'm not going to lean in. I'm just going to keep my back in one position. I'm going to start by trying to round my shoulders, opening my shoulder blades, my scapula. I'm going to spread them, and I'm going to pull them close together. So spread the shoulder blades, close the shoulder blades. Spread, close. Keeping my elbows high, going right to my nipple. If I wanted to hit lats with this particular hand, I need to tuck my elbows and drive them down low. That's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to hit the upper back, so we want to flare. All right? Flare the elbows, focusing on what the scapula behind me is doing. Opening, spreading the shoulder blades, closing them. The better you can get at that, the more detail you're going to get on your upper back. Okay, guys? I'm going to recommend high reps here. Maybe 20 reps at a nice weight where you don't feel scared and you can hold this at the back position here. Okay? All right, guys, our last exercise, our fifth exercise today in our back series. We're going to do a one-arm cable row, working from high to low. Okay? So, I'm not going to grip this very hard. This is a pretty good rule of thumb. The harder I grip this, if I wrap my whole palm around it, I'm going to get a lot of forearms. I'm not going to isolate lats quite as much. We're also back to lats, by the way. So what I want to do is I want to pull with like a hook grip here, just my fingertips. That's going to help me allow me to isolate and feel more lats. So don't wrap your whole palm around it. We're going to just pull with our fingertips. Next, I'm going to be in the supinated position, so I'm underhand. Not completely underhand, that's awkward. A little bit of a slant, okay? So here's my start position. Opposite arm to leg, so they can lean forward and get a stretch on this. I want to feel like I'm going to fall forward. In fact, if I let go of this handle, I'm going to fall forward and smash my head. I really want to optimize this stretch on this lift. Okay, so here's my start position. Leaning into the weight, underhand on a slant. I'm going to pull my chest up as I put my elbow to my hip. Okay, lean forward, changing my back angle, leaning into the rep like I'm falling forward. Pull back for my contraction. Yeah, lean forward, deep stretch, putting my whole body weight against my lat muscle. Pull back for the contraction, elbow to the hip. Just like our one-arm row, there's no space in my armpit. I'm giving myself a rug burn in the armpit of my t-shirt. Boom. Big stretch, lean forward, pull back for contraction. Fingertips only.